Welcome to all of you to our in-depth hero build guide video today. The hero we will explore is Swamp Thing, also known as Alec Holland. He is an extremely unique mythic hero in the game. Right from the beginning, Swamp Thing is not just an ordinary warrior. He takes on a dual role, both as a solid support general and as a formidable source of spiritual damage. The main role of Swamp Thing revolves around controlling the battle by draining the opponent's energy, while also providing extremely effective damage reduction for the entire team. His key skills, such as Swamp Surge, can create a powerful defensive zone that significantly reduces the damage your allies have to endure. This turns Swamp Thing into a solid defensive foundation, helping your main damage-dealing heroes have enough time and space to operate. Because I wanted to make this video, I summoned Swamp Thing with around 120 anvil, and I was lucky to receive him at 5 white stars, so I can make this video. Actually, I wanted to invest everything into Constantine more because I want to have someone at maximum 5 red stars to see how strong they are. However, I think you also need guidance about Swamp Thing, so I tried to spend a bit of anvil to summon him. Please do not hesitate to give me a like. And now let's start the video.
I'm ready and waiting. Red Robin here to assist you.
Call me Mother Nature. Nature always wins.
Don't underestimate me! That girl is ready for action.
The planet hurts. I am its defender.
Call me Mother Nature. Nature always wins.
There are many disruptions in the green, which, as the planet grows stronger, as the planet grows stronger, as the planet grows stronger, as the planet grows stronger.
Sorry everyone, I made the beginning a bit long because I wanted to show off my luck. It was the first time I pulled and got 3 mythic heroes twice in 2 10-pull sessions. Alright, now let's get into the main topic. After understanding the overall role of Swamp Thing, let's dive into the details of his skills to understand how this hero operates in battle. Swamp Thing's skill set is clearly divided into 2 main groups, dealing damage and controlling energy, along with defensive and supportive skills for the team. First, about his offensive ability and control. His skill number 1 is Vine Lash, which not only deals significant spiritual damage, but also has a small but important control effect, reducing the target's current energy. This is very useful for delaying enemies from using their ultimate skills. However, the true power of energy control lies in his ultimate skill called Overgrowth. When activated, Swamp Thing deals a large amount of wide area spiritual damage while also reducing the current energy of all enemies within range. This is the perfect tool to break or slow down the pace of the battle, especially when the enemy team is preparing to unleash their ultimate skills. Additionally, there is a passive skill that reduces the energy of all enemies right at the start of the battle. This is a skill that counters heroes like Lex Luthor in the Legion of Doom, which is one of the strongest factions in the current PvP. Next, let's talk about Swamp Thing's unique support ability, starting with Swamp Surge. This is an excellent defensive support skill when activated right at the start of the battle, summoning the Swamp Zone for 10 seconds to significantly reduce the damage that all allies within the area receive. And the key point is that if your team has at least 3 other Justice League Dark Heroes, this damage reduction effect will be doubled, turning Swamp Thing into an almost unbreakable defensive wall. Finally, we have Natural Remedy, a skill that helps Swamp Thing strengthen his power steadily over time. After the battle begins, he will receive Spiritual Amplification, which means an increase in spiritual damage every 5 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. This ensures that the longer the battle lasts, the stronger Swamp Thing's the damage output becomes. In summary, Swamp Thing's skill set is a harmonious combination of pace control, spiritual damage dealing, and wide area defensive support, making him extremely versatile in many different team compositions. After fully understanding each skill, the next step is to optimize the power of Swamp Thing through choosing stats and upgrades. Choosing a legacy is the key step that determines the role of Swamp Thing. The optimal choice is Antler Crown, the exclusive legacy of Swamp Thing. This is the most superior option. When the battle starts, this equipment will apply Nature's Curse to all enemies for 10 seconds, greatly reducing their attack and critical rate. This is a powerful, wide area defensive effect that almost instantly protects your entire team. In addition, it also increases ultimate damage and restores missing health periodically every 5 seconds. The alternative choice is Gabriel Horn. If you do not have the exclusive Legacy Antler Crown, Gabriel Horn is a worthy replacement. This equipment increases health and also increases attack for all allies for 20 seconds right when the battle starts. Although it does not provide strong control effects like Antler Crown, it still gives a significant attack buff for the whole team. As for choosing Transmute, our goal is to reinforce the 2 core roles of Swamp Thing, dealing damage and maintaining survivability. Because his skills all deal spiritual damage, the stats in the best choice group that you must prioritize are Spiritual Penetration and Spiritual Amplification. Increasing Spiritual Penetration will help his damage bypass the opponent's magic resistance more effectively, while Spiritual Amplification directly increases the base damage dealt. Of course, the attack stat is also an essential choice because all skill damage is calculated based on this stat. Alongside offensive stats to increase durability, the good choice stats such as health, spiritual resistance, and physical resistance will help Swamp Thing survive longer on the battlefield. Depending on how you want to use him, you can choose one of these 2 stat paths. Personally, I will choose good choice because I need him to survive rather than deal damage so that Constantine can handle that part. Regarding set bonuses, there are many options depending on your playstyle and team composition. However, the 2 sets considered top priority are Shield of Intimidation and Unyielding Will. Shield of Intimidation. This set focuses entirely on control and defense. When Swamp Thing uses his ultimate, this set will immediately interrupt nearby enemies and provide a large shield based on his maximum health for 8 seconds. With this effect, you both stop the opponent from acting and increase your own durability every time you use the ultimate, which is very suitable for the control role. Unyielding Will. This set is an excellent choice to increase survivability and counter control effects. When Swamp Thing's health drops below a certain threshold for the first time, this set will immediately remove all current control effects, provide super armor and damage immunity for a few seconds, and restore energy each second. This is a perfect lifesaver, ensuring that Swamp Thing is not unexpectedly eliminated and can turn the situation around. Rejuvenating Strike. If you want to maximize damage, this set is an optional choice. It increases attack at the start of the battle and increases attack again when Swamp Thing is about to use his ultimate, while also restoring a significant amount of health based on the attack stat. Next, let's take a look at his Force Tree. When upgrading, you should focus entirely on the main offensive stat nodes. Spiritual Amplification Boost, and Spiritual Penetration Boost. This will ensure that Swamp Thing reaches the strongest possible spiritual damage threshold. For the enhanced skill upgrades, you should prioritize Natural Remedy, enhanced first, because it increases spiritual resistance, strengthening the defensive role of the hero. After that, upgrade Vine Lash, enhanced to reduce the cooldown of the skill, allowing you to control the opponent's energy more frequently during battle. Upgrading Swamp Surge, enhanced last will increase critical resistance, helping Swamp Thing avoid being defeated by critical hits. Personally, I usually choose to upgrade everything if I decide to put a hero into the main team, but if I do not put them into the main team and only keep them as a substitute, I only upgrade everything by 1 level to activate the Force. After completing the stat build and equipment for Swamp Thing, the most important thing is knowing how to use this hero strategically. Swamp Thing is an extremely strong initiator of control and defense, especially if you equip the Antler Crown Legacy. Thanks to the instant effect of this legacy and the Swamp Surge skill, he can immediately establish a solid defensive formation for your allies within the first few seconds. Reducing the opponent's attack and reducing incoming damage for allies makes your team very hard to defeat in the early phase. Throughout the battle, Swamp Thing's mission is to maintain pressure by continuously using Vine Lash to drain the energy of important targets. However, the key control tool is the ultimate Overgrowth. You should time this skill when the opponent has just accumulated enough energy or is about to cast their ultimate. Reducing wide area energy will disrupt the enemy team's rhythm, creating opportunities for your main damage dealers to finish off targets. Basically, Swamp Thing acts as an interrupter and a shield wall for the team. The maximum power of Swamp Thing is shown when he fights alongside members of the Justice League Dark faction. The reason is that the Swamp Surge skill has its damage reduction effect doubled when there are at least 3 other Justice League Dark heroes in the team. This turns the Swamp Zone into an almost impenetrable fortress. It is very effective against assassins like Deathstroke and Nightwing. So if you're using strong assassins, be careful when encountering Swamp Thing. It is best to switch to another opponent if possible. Therefore, the ideal team for Swamp Thing is a team built around Justice League Dark combined with strong damage dealers. Heroes like Raven, Constantine, or Dr. Fate not only activate the double effect of Swamp Surge, but also provide essential roles such as healing, buffing, or main damage dealing. In general, the strategy revolves around keeping Constantine alive as long as possible. With that, we have gone through the complete optimal build guide for Swamp Thing, an extremely valuable and versatile mythic hero. Swamp Thing is a fantastic addition, providing both survivability and impressive damage potential for the Justice League Dark, a faction widely used by many free-to-play players. Thank you so much for watching the entire Swamp Thing build guide video. I hope all the detailed information above will help your hero become stronger in every game mode. If you find this video helpful, do not forget to hit like and subscribe so you do not miss the upcoming hero build guides. And more importantly, share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you want me to continue this series? Because I still have not released the video about the best combos when pairing Swamp Thing with other heroes. I really want to hear your opinions and chat with all of you. See you again in the next videos.
The darkness.
My fate is survival.
Great terror.
I don't play by the rules.